Hello YouTube! For this video, I wanted to show the world essentially how a Jehovah's Witness argues. There isn't a single one of the methods usually used by Jehovah's Witnesses that isn't used in this series of comments. I'm going to outline with you exactly what fallacies are used, why they're used, and most importantly, how to spot them in your own arguments. I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while, so I was hoping to get JCan7 to finish his argument so the viewers could see an entire argument of Jehovah's Witness. Now, if you have a copy of Reasoning from the Scriptures or some Kingdom Ministries, I encourage you to read along and see if you can spot the methods used. Regardless, here's all the comments. Now I'm going to intersperse what logical fallacies are used, why they're used, and how to spot them for future reference in between reading off comments between the active Jehovah's Witness known as JCan7 and the baiting comments left by myself.
Hi Tim, I'm willing to help you with your questions. My question is, how are the answers going to help you?
They'll help me when my daughter has similar questions, and I'll have a variety of answers to give her so she can make her own decision.
Okay Tim, I'll help. One condition. After I answer all your questions, are you willing to man up and post another video saying that you were wrong, that you messed up, and misled a lot of people? Can you honestly do that?
If you're willing to do the same, if your answers are filled with logical fallacies and are incorrect, will you make a video saying that your answers are false?
Hello Tim, sorry for the delay. Sounds good, I'm down for that. Now question, who determines the answers are incorrect? The Bible or you? You seem very intellectual and the questions you ask are actually very easy. But you still haven't answered my first question. Do you practice any other religion? If so, which one?
I thought you were joking because it's in so many of my other videos. I'm an atheist. The Bible is up for interpretation, so you saying this answer is correct because the Bible says so doesn't exactly fly. I've admitted in numerous videos if an answer is plausible, it doesn't have gaping logical holes. So if that's the case, I'll make a video saying why your answer makes sense and it isn't just another straw man. Try looking at the e-Watchman responses and my replies before answering. Given most of the answers I get from people who say the questions are very easy, I'd get your video equipment ready to make videos. You can ask propaganda techniques about that. He had much the same deal with me. If he answered my questions, I would make a video saying so. If I refuted his points, he would make videos. Check out his channel to see one there.
Hi Tim, look, I mean no disrespect, not trying to be sarcastic in any way. I expect you to level with me. Now, you've read the Bible many times. That's cool. However, there is a reason that the knowledge is not sinking in. No disrespect, you did want to help your daughter, right? Now please, marinate on this. How can you help another person when you do not fully comprehend the issues yourself? Matthew 11:25. If you understood the depth of any of the issues, you wouldn't have tough questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, right? As a witness, you know that you're supposed to live according to the higher principles of God. We all know that your comeback to this comment is probably that you've become an atheist and chose to defend that. You'll probably even say, thank God I'm an atheist. That's cool too. However, there are two places where you do not find an atheist. In jail and at the hospitals.
Ad hominem attack. Essentially what he's saying here is that I'm too stupid to understand the Bible like he does. You do not fully comprehend. It's a textbook example. If you weren't so stupid, you have no problem seeing my point of view. The point starting with this is to discredit the argument of the other person before they begin. They will also in turn be too busy defending their person to address the slipped-in argument by the presenter. You don't find atheists in jail because they're statistically proven as less likely to commit crimes.
You know that you're getting a kick out of all the attention you're acquiring, and that's your main concern. You know it. Now, even if your questions were answered correctly, it wouldn't make any sense to you, because your head is in the way, and you are more focused on how to defend your theories, rather than focusing on what you should be doing.
Once again, ad hominem. This time attacking the motives first in order for the reader to discredit what I would be responding to him in the first place. In essence, to get them to say, well, he's only saying that for the attention. Special pleading. Even if your questions were answered correctly, it wouldn't make any sense to you, and you're more focused on how to defend your theories rather than focusing on what you should be doing. He's making a special case that even in the case that I don't accept his argument, they're still right, because in this case, it's not the answer being wrong that's challenged, but I am only trying to defend my theories. I wanted to address this one specifically. If I wanted attention, then I would become a YouTube partner. I haven't, and I don't want it. Look through the comments on my videos before you make judgments, because in several cases, I've said the answer makes sense. While I might not agree with it, I will absolutely acknowledge a sound answer if given. I can give you 3 off the top of my head.
Now, if you'd like to know the answers to the questions, all your questions. You take your time, meditate on this, and maybe we can start with the answers. What kind of help did you want for your daughter, Tim? Do you want us to help you develop in her a spirit of conflict? Because this is what is in your heart at this point, or do you really want to help your daughter?
Appeal to emotion, effectively saying that not accepting the advice is not showing care for my daughter.
Now, think about this. If you're 100% sure that you do not believe in God, Jesus, his angels, or in Satan and his demons, or hell, or anything that the Bible says, why then do you manifest characteristics of Jehovah? Why don't you do the opposite?
Assuming the answer. You manifest the characteristics of Jehovah. This is assuming the answer without proving that I do manifest those characteristics. Finding middle ground. This is a tactic of thought control. Here is setting the path to find commonality of goals between myself and his point of view in order to make his point without argument, because by arguing against his conclusion, I would be arguing against my own position. In this case, my own good quality. You might see this tactic when you're going to the door. Wouldn't you like to live in a paradise earth? Finding middle ground. It's part of the T in the bite cult mind control method.
If your daughter got really sick or injured or anything that would affect her, it would hurt you, right? Because you love her. Well then, where do these emotions originate from? I'm not typing these words with sarcasm, Tim. I'm just trying to be honest with you. Because in the end, it doesn't really matter what me and you think, only what is. My name's Alan. I too have a daughter, and I would do anything to make her smile. Don't you? I'm pretty sure that you do.
Appeal to flattery. Here by essentially buttering me up, by saying how much I care about my daughter. This is to endear me to him by lathering me with compliments. This is a slight variation from finding middle ground, which is moved right afterwards. I too have a daughter. This combination is used to make the person feel good about themselves, then while on the same note, use thought control to get them to connect with the speaker. You may see this at a door in much the same way. I see that you have children by the toys in your front yard. I have children as well. As parents, don't you want the best that you can provide for your child? Appeal to flattery. Finding middle ground. Watch for it. You'll see it more.
Answering every question is not the problem. The problem is the veil in your heart. Brother, best teacher, sister, best teacher, will not remove the veil either, nor your parents or brothers from the congregation, even if they pray day and night. Nobody, not even Jehovah, will remove that veil. Someone put that veil there, 2 Corinthians 4:3. There's only one way to remove it, 2 Corinthians 3:13-16.
Misdirection. Answering every question is not the problem. The problem is in your heart. Shifting the focus from a question to the questioner's heart condition. This immediate change of subject is to avoid a claim. The claim that in the beginning was to answer questions. Now misdirecting to proving that my heart is too wicked to accept the answer, regardless of whether my claims about the answer are valid or not.
Serious business, Tim. Regardless of whatever derogatory remark you may add, you know what's up. Please, Tim, be cool. Be honest, Tim. Take care. Agape, Alan.
Again, great example of the T in the bite model. Loaded language, agape. Use of a buzzword. Using specific words that are organization specific affects speech pattern. Instead of saying love, he uses agape, which is a certain type of love the Watchtower teaches about.
We all know you want to have the last word, Tim. Focus on Tim and your daughter. I'm doing my part, Tim. Please do yours. James chapter 2:14-17.
Another use of ad hominem. In this case, we all know that you want to have the last word, Tim. This tricks the viewer of this into thinking that I'm not making a response here because there are holes in the argument, but instead simply because I want to have the last word. So this was the opening statement. Put all of it together. The first thing done is to try to discredit the person on the opposing side. They're not going to accept the answer because they're too dumb to understand it. They're only trying to defend their beliefs, will not accept anything, even if it's right. They will not accept the answer because they want to have the last word, only because they want the attention of the responses. The next thing is to try to get on the person's side by flattering them and finding common ground. Saying the opposer is following Jehovah's example, no doubt loves his daughter, just like he has a daughter too. This is to get the person to agree in order to slip in more arguments. Essentially, forcing the person onto the same side means that if they detest anything said, they are disagreeing with their own side and contradict each other. If it goes too awry, you can always be brought back to this common ground and flattery. What was accomplished here? What are the goals? You can see that there was no attempt to answer anything, just starting the groundwork to get the person to agree by using thought control and the use of flattery and common ground.